Good morning. I'm Nanti Kesan. I'm a lead evaluator at the Independent Office of Evaluation of IFAD, International Fund for Agricultural Development. We just had a session on greening policies through evaluations, and we discussed three things here. One was evidence of successful green policies. The second part was bottlenecks or challenges to introducing green policies. And the third part was what can evaluations do? What should evaluations in the future do to strengthen green development policies? Particularly the last one, we agreed that more collective action is needed. Evaluations need to become more relevant, and evaluative voice and reach has to be strengthened. For that, multiple units, the agencies that are working on climate change responses, evaluating climate change responses, should pool their knowledge and also collectively act to raise their voices in the global and national scene.
Hi everyone, my name is Sohini. I'm a senior capacity building manager at Clear South Asia. So Clear South Asia is an core implementing partner of Global Evaluation Initiative, which is a global partnership of M&E providers around the world who are working towards strengthening M&E systems, and we are co-managed by World Bank and UNDP. So I was moderating today's session on evaluating SDGs for the world we want, measurement challenges and opportunities. So I think for us, the measurement is heart of the problem and a very important issue to really think through as we are moving towards the 2030 agenda. We have a very few years left, and I think it is very, very important to take a pause and think about how we can strengthen the M&E systems and the oversight mechanisms to really jumpstart and move towards the 2030 agenda. So for me, there are three key takeaways from a very exciting panel discussion. We had representatives from UNESCAP, from ADB, from UNDP, from OPHI at University of Oxford, as well as from Government of India, Niti Aayog. So really different voices who are working on this aspect of measurement and SDGs around the world. So for me, there are three key takeaways. I think the first thing was really thinking about, with all the discussion around AI, machine learning, and other innovations that has happened with data. I think what I learned is it's not a silver bullet, and there is value in using the traditional understanding of surveys and using them and strengthening them and doing it systematically. So for me, that was one key takeaway, that it is not a silver bullet. I think secondly, there was a lot of interesting in discussions about how we can think through measuring harder to measure concepts, particularly when we think about SDGs. And here there was a lot of conversations around SDG 12 and 13 and how we can think of issues like climate adaptation, which is a very harder to measure concept, and how we can do it systematically as an international community coming together. And finally, there was a lot of discussion around data use and bringing policymakers to the discussion. So we delved a bit about a bit on the India case study, where there is a lot of work that DMU and Niti Aayog particularly is doing on SDG localization, and the policymaker who was representing DMU and Niti Aayog spoke a lot about the institutionalization of SDG localization work that is happening there. We also learned that data is political, and UNDP shared lessons on how to navigate and maneuver around it, particularly to keep an eye on data use and how to do that systematically moving forward. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sona Shrestha, and I'm the Deputy Director General of the Independent Evaluation Department at ADB. So I've just come out of our session on the role of policy-based lending from crisis recovery to long-term development. We had an excellent discussion with our panelists. We discussed a number of issues related to development effectiveness of policy-based lending, or PBLs. And one of the main themes was, of course, the role of, or the importance of government ownership of reform agenda. We also discussed the importance of the quality of the analytical underpinnings in relation to PBLs, as well as the quality of the policy dialogue and country engagement. And finally, we also discussed the potential for using PBLs in addressing the risks from climate crisis, as well as other regional and public goods more generally. Thank you.